Welcome to the World Echelon Racing Association's 4th week of our inaugural season. This week we are at St. Croix, Layout C, as things start to ramp up. With every driver fighting for points, this race could really shake up things. And starting up front, we have Rage, Canadian guy, Croix, his best start of the season, Ace, and Just Rustic are going to round out our top 5. And as the drivers approach turn 1 and drag race down the front straight, iCrazy is going to have a quick overtake on Rustic to put him into the top 5. This race is going to offer a little bit of everything. And time to formally introduce Jet, one of our more familiar drivers from some of the other leagues. Just finished his season over at Hairpin Racing and is joining us with Barry, also known as Alapunio, the CEO of Hairpin Racing. Jet wasting no time from the beginning, making contact on Just Rustic, 2 corners in a row, sending him wide on his hards, and he does take over P6. Rounding out our top 10 to start off, we have Just Rustic behind him, Dale Earnhardt, Bailey, and Colonel Mustard. Due to that battle for P6 early in the race, it allowed the top 5 drivers an opportunity to slowly pull away from the rest of the pack. What follows is one of the most intense battles that we have ever seen in a long time. Let's just watch and enjoy. Further behind the grid is Barry, founder of Hairpin Racing, also joining us for his first race of the season, making a move on Earnhardt early on. This same sequence also captures contact made between Bailey and Rustic and the chaos that ensues. Caught from multiple angles with Rustic and Mustard unfortunately seeing the worst of it. Expired Mustard indeed. Lap 2 concluded with both BRZs, Earnhardt and Saragon, pitting as they did not have very good pace on the hards. With the top 8 all electing to start the race on mediums, there is no shortage of battles, including this battle between iCrazy and Ace for P3, as iCrazy will overtake him, but Ace is going to get him right back. And down the back straight, we have iCrazy, Croix, and Jet all battling for P4. The precision driving from all these drivers has been spot on. No matter where on the grid, we have close battles with all these drivers desperately wanting the points. Further back, we have Just Rustic, who has fallen from P5 to P12 in just 4 laps. Opting to start the race on hards may have been a bad call. And the battle continues into lap 5, the battle for P4. The battle for P7. And of course, the battle for the lead. Every battle as tense as can be, every driver giving it all they have. This is the epitome of racing. Rage, Croix, Jet, and Bailey all pit to get a fresh set of tires. And a close call for Clovers, having to take averting action to avoid hitting Jet, who had just came out of the pits, opening the door for Wall Racing to overtake and catch Croix slipstream going up the straight. Lap 6 saw different strategies clash. With some front-running pitting and running into the back of the pack upon exiting, it brought some interesting and debatable moves. Let's go on board with some of these drivers and see some of these battles. Tensions were already running high with late moves, daring lunges, and going bumper to bumper in the corners. Drivers going wide, meeting the grass, meeting the walls, one small mistake was all it took to end your race. Raji pitted on lap 5, allowing him to undercut Ace, Canadian Guy, and iCrazy. This early pit not only allowed the undercut, but also freed him from traffic, potentially opening the door for his 3-stop strategy to work, as well as we see here on lap 6. However, the drivers battling for net pole did not slow down much due to the battle. They continued setting fast laps, alternating positions in a display that looked so seamless, so poetic, it was almost out of a movie. As the laps ticked away, the battles got more and more intense, knowing that going wide once, barely missing a braking point, or just making contact with someone or something could be enough to take you out of contention. However, that did not faze the drivers battling for pole. Lap 9, and Russick has finally gotten off his hards and was able to find some pace and began making up some ground. Up ahead, Raji, Jet, and Rage were going in for the second of their 3 stops. With Rustick electing to go on those soft tires, which did not have a lot of life in this track, but brought a lot of pace, got himself into a competitive battle with Rage due to a penalty. And Rustick with 1 soft is going to dip into the pits, committing to a 3-stop strategy. Rustick's outlap also brought a close call, followed by a great battle with Empire. Let's watch as Rustick desperately tries to make up some ground. Lap 11, and our leader goes into the pits. Lap 12 brought a great battle for P5 between our 2 newest drivers, Jet and Barry. These 2 have been racing together for a long time, and clearly no love lost between them as we watch them battle for position. The end of lap 12 brought Canadian Guy and Ace into the pits, while iCrazy and Fraji continued on their respective strategies. Canadian Guy was greeted by Jet upon exiting the pits on lap 13, and they battled down the front straight until Jet got overtaken due to the older tires. Lap 13 also brought us this overtake by Rage on the bridge, followed by an intense battle between Jet and Ace for P5. Jet, struggling on those worn tires, is going to eventually follow Froggy into the pits at the end of this lap. With Froggy on his third and final pit stop, it opened the door for iCrazy, Canadian Guy, and Ace to take advantage of their two-stop strategies and try to pull away from Froggy and Rage, who still needed one more pit. The battle for P1 continued to heat up between iCrazy and Canadian Guy, with nobody giving up an inch. Porsche versus Alpha, Germany versus Britain. Not far behind, the battle for P6 was also getting on the edge between Bailey and Jet, as seen from Jet's in-car footage. Up ahead, a mistake had allowed Ace to catch iCrazy and Canadian Guy 420 to pull away with the lead, creating a whole new battle for P2. Behind, Rage was on his final pit stop as Froggy exited the final corner, then heartbreak. Froggy went wide, making contact with the wall. Bailey is going to make his final pit. And after a near-perfect race, Ace is going to suffer engine failure, right into the wall, dropping him all the way to the back with a DNF. The failure by Ace allowed Canadian Guy to more or less cruise away with the victory. However, the race still wasn't over. We still had battles on our hands and positions to protect. Leading to the checkered flag, we witnessed Rustic, Bailey, and Raw Racing battle for P8 with some great footage of Bailey taking the position. The checkered flag saw Canadian Guy take the win with iCrazy behind in P2. Froggy was just able to protect his podium and round off the top three. Rage close behind in P4, followed by Jet and Barry in P5 and P6. P7 belonged to Earnhardt. P8 was Bailey and Raw Racing in P9. Rounding off our top 10 is just Rustic with fuel pump issues that barely allowed him to limp over the finish. Next week, all these drivers will battle it out at Spa in the dark, and rain is in the forecast.